Good morning, all. A warm welcome to the new session of Social Science class. How are you all? Are you fine and safe? Okay, good. Don't go outside unwantedly. Be in your home, stay safe, and stay healthy. In the last class, we had started a new lesson. What was the name of the lesson? Anyone remembering? Yes, it is the Earth, Myth and Reality. In this chapter, we were discussing about our planet in which we are living, that is Earth. So, in the introduction part, we had seen a story. Anyone remembering that story? Anyone? Yes, this story was about a prince and a princess who got married and they had received a wedding gift. But after their marriage, a severe drought affected that city. Then what happened? Yes, the king had asked the astrologers of his country to gather in the court to know what was the reason for the drought. Then what happened? Yes, they found it. What was the reason? What was that reason? Yes, that is, it was because of the prince's wedding gift that the drought had attacked that city. And as a remedy, they told to throw this wedding gift from the edge of the earth. Is it possible to throw that statue from the edge of the earth? No. Then what we had discussed after the story? Yes, we had discussed about the shape of the earth. Who all Greek philosophers we had discussed in that? Yes, who was the first philosopher? Yes, was Thales. Thales was the first person to discuss about the shape of the earth. What was, according to him, what was the shape of the earth? Yes, earth is like a spherical shape floating on water. Then, who was the other Greek philosophers we had discussed? Aristotle, then Pythagoras. They also told that earth is spherical in shape. But at that time, the people were against or they were opposed that concept. And who had supported them strongly? Copernicus had supported them. Then we came to know about an Indian philosopher, an Indian astronomer. Who was that Indian astronomer? He is Aryabhatta. You said it. Aryabhatta was the Indian astronomer. What does he told about the shape of the earth? Earth is spherical in shape. He also told that earth is spherical in shape and it rotates on its imaginary axis. Then, do you know who is the voyager we came to see? What was his name? Yes, it is Magellan. Magellan was a voyager who traveled around the world and proved that earth is spherical in shape. Then, who was the last person we had discussed? Yes, it is Isaac Newton. We are all familiar with his name, Isaac Newton. What does he said? The shape of the earth is not truly spherical. The top portion, the center of the earth is flattened and the sides are bulged. So, do you know what is the name of that shape of the earth? Geoid. The meaning of geoid? Earth-shaped. Then we had discussed about a person who trekked and sailed around the world. Who was that person? Yes, it is Jean Beliveau. He is the person who trekked and sailed around the world. Trek means he walked and also he traveled through a ship and around the world. Okay, do you know how many years he took to travel the whole earth? Yes, he took 11 years. So you can imagine how big is the earth. Then, do you know what was the circumference of the earth? Anyone? Yes, it is 40,000 kilometers. Then, can you tell me who was the first person to calculate the perimeter of the earth? Anyone? Yes, it is Eratosthenes is the first person to calculate the circumference of the earth. And during the time of Eratosthenes, there is no modern equipments, but still he had calculated approximately near to the circumference of the earth. Today, we are going to study a new portion. Okay, in this earth, can you locate your position? Anyone? Can you locate your position in this earth? Yes. Okay, tell me. Yes, you are in Asia. Okay, Asia is the name of the continent in which we are living. Then in Asia, in which country? Yes, in India. Then anyone? In India, in which state? Yes, in Kerala. Then in Kerala, which district? Ernakulam. Then again, in which island or in which place we are living? Yes, in Vipin Island. In Vipin Island, in which place? Yes, in Nyarakal. Okay. Then in Nyarakal, there will be any residence association or any name of the lane or okay, in NRA lane, your house number? Yeah, this NRA 27. So like that you can position you. So we know that Earth is a vast area. To locate a position in Earth is little bit difficult. Okay, now I am going to give you a small task. All of you, please close your eyes and just imagine that you are in the classroom. Okay, can you please tell me in which place you are sitting in the class, or count your bench number? Anyone? Okay, you are in second bench, and you third bench, you first bench. Okay. Okay, then I will give you a reference, a benchmark. Okay, just imagine that from the teacher's table, can you tell me your position? Yours last, then yours. Okay, so like that it differs. So you find easy when I had given you a reference. Now we can play a game. For that, there are two players are required, and you need a board with grids and a buttons. Buttons, you know, to knock the shot you need buttons. So we can have a look of that game board in the textbook. It is given in your textbook. Please have a look of that game board. Can you see? This is the game board. You can see two players sitting face to face. And you can see a game board with a lot of grids. You can see the columns, lines drawn horizontal and lines drawn vertical. On the left hand side, you can see the numbers were written 1, 2, 3, 4, and on the top side you can see the alphabets A, B, C, D. What you have to do is, the player A will tell a position. For example, if the player A says the position B3, the player B must keep the buttons in B3. How can you find B3? Can you see? Here is the B. This is the column, B column. And so these buttons must be against this column, and you can see 3 is in this line. So against 3 and under the column of B you have to place button. If this is placed correctly, then that means the player B had won and he will get 1 point. If the player B cannot put the buttons in the correct position, then the player A will get 1 point. After this task, then the player B will tell the position, then the player A have to place the button accordingly. Like that it goes. So you can play with your parents or with your brothers. Next, okay, I will show you a picture. Can you see this? A circle, a blank circle. In that you can see a truck. So can you please tell me what is the position of this truck in this circle? Can you identify? Can you please tell me whether it is in top of the circle, or it is in bottom, or is it in middle? You find it difficult, right? Why? You know that circle don't have edges. It is purely round, so that we find difficult to position the circle. So in order to make you ease to find the position, we can draw some lines horizontal. Horizontal means like this. Parallel to earth is known as horizontal lines, and vertical lines means line like this. Okay, now I will show you. Okay, can you see this? You can see on the circle, you can find lines over the circle. There are some lines drawn horizontally, as well as you can see lines drawn parallel. Lines drawn vertically as well as horizontal. So now can you find the position of the truck? Yes, you find it easy. How? Why? Because you can count these lines in order to find the position of the truck. Like that. Like that, you can position a place in a earth. With the help of lines, you can position a region in the earth. There's some problem with the net, so I will make it more clear. You can see that the lines clearly. Now you can see the lines on the circle. So earlier there was no lines in the circle, so you find it difficult to position the truck, but now you feel more easy. Why? Because you can see the lines and you can count these lines, so and thus you can position this truck. So like that, in the earth also, if the earth is blank, we know that earth is vast. So in order to position the earth, or in order to position a region in the earth, you will find difficult. So I will show you a globe. Can you see the picture of this globe? Okay, you can see that there are lines drawn in the correct angular distance. You can see the gap in each line is same. So you can see there are lines drawn. So with the help of these lines, you can position a region in the globe. Okay, now can you see this line? These are known as horizontal lines. So the horizontal lines drawn on the globe are known as latitudes. And here you can see the lines drawn vertical. These kinds of lines drawn on the vertical lines drawn on the globe are called as longitudes. So once again I am repeating, the horizontal lines drawn on the globe are known as latitudes, and the vertical lines drawn on the globe are known as longitudes. Now we can see a definition of latitudes. What do you mean by latitudes? Latitude is the angular distance to any point on the surface of the earth from the center. By joining the same angular distance, we get the line of latitude. I am once again repeating. Latitude is the angular distance to any point on the surface of the earth from the center. By joining the same angular distance, we get the line of latitude. For that, I will give you a small experiment. For that, you need to buy a smiley board like this. You can see this is a smiley board. You can buy a smiley board, or you can use cricket ball that you are playing. Cut it into two halves like this. You can cut it. For a smiley ball, you can see sponge, so the inner portion will be covered. But in the case of cricket ball, the inner portion will have a hollow part, means you can see a hole. So you have to cover it with the help of paper or with the help of a cardboard. Then draw a line to the center of the, you can see a center line drawn in red line. You have to draw a line to the center of each half. For this also I had drawn, and for this also I had drawn. You need to draw a line. Then with the help of a protractor, I hope you are using protractor, or you know to use protractor. You have to keep this protractor and mark the angular distance. In order to clarify it, I will show you another picture in the textbook. Please have a look of it in the textbook. Can you see? This is a half portion of a ball. You can see this is a same angle that you are seeing in the protractor. You can see this is a protractor. So the same angles only you are seeing in this textbook. You can see here also that lines are drawn. You can see that the lines are drawn from the center. You have to first, after drawing the center line, you have to point the midpoint, and you can see all the angles are drawn from the center. First of all, after drawing the middle line, you need to point out all the angles as shown in the protractor. Then from the center only you need to draw the lines, so you can see the angles as in the protractor. You have to draw first in the top portion, then also in the bottom, then join these lines, you will get latitudes. That's what the definition of the latitude is saying, that latitude is the angular distance to any point on the surface of the earth from the center. That's what here it is, center. From the center the lines are drawn in angular distance, and by joining the same angular distance we get the line of latitudes. I hope you had understood what are latitudes. Then can you please tell me what is the name of the longest latitude? Anyone? I hope you had studied in the 5th standard. Do anyone remember what is the longest latitude drawn? Yes, it is equator. Equator is the longest line of latitude. Okay, why this equator is known as the longest line of latitude? Anyone knows? Okay, for that you draw a circle in your rough book. You can draw a circle with the help of a compass. Then draw a line to the center of the circle and measure it. Then you can draw some lines on the top of the center line and on the bottom portion of the circle. Then measure it. You will find that the line which is drawn on the center of the circle will be the longest. Others which is drawn on the top of the center and on the bottom of the center will be less or will be small. Okay. Do you know what is the angular measurement of equator? Anyone knows? It is 0 degree. Why the equator angular measurement is considered to be 0 degree? Do you know? Okay, I will show you an example. Okay, this is a protractor. You know this is protractor and this is in the shape of a semicircle. Okay, this is another protractor. Okay, I am keeping it together like this. Okay, what is the shape? It is a full circle. So when the two semicircles kept together, it looked to be a circle. Okay, can you please tell me what is the, okay, consider this as one circle. Okay, can you please tell me what is the center line drawn here? Or what's the angular measurement of the center line drawn here? Yes, it is 0 degree. So that's how equator is getting the degree of 0 degree. One thing, remember that the line of latitude and line of longitudes are all imaginary. These are drawn for our sake in order to point out the position in the earth. There are no such lines on the actual earth. Okay, I will show you another picture in the computer. You can see now the two protractors are joined together here. Okay, this is the center line drawn and it is having a degree of 0 degree. That's how the equator is also having 0 degree. Now this 90 degree, can you see this 90 degree on the top portion and bottom portion? This is the center of the circle, right? Top portion, top center of the circle, and this is the bottom center of the circle, and this is considered to be 90 degree. Okay, this portion on the globe is known as North Pole, and this portion, this 90 degree portion in the south portion is known as South Pole. This is 90 degree North Pole and this is 90 degree South Pole. The top portion is always 90 degree north and this portion is known as 90 degree south. Okay, do you know what is the definition of equator? Equator means the latitudinal line drawn along the middle of the globe is the longest one. This line of latitude is known as equator. And equator divides the earth into two halves. Do you know what are the two halves? Anyone? Yes, it is northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. That is the top portion above the equator. The top portion above the equator is considered to be northern hemisphere and the bottom portion of the equator is considered to be southern hemisphere. And we can now have a look of important latitudes. Please have a look. Okay, this is a diagram in the textbook. Can you see? This is a diagram in the textbook. You can see equator. This is 0 degree equator. This is the longest latitude and this is the line that divides earth into two halves. You can see the top portion of the earth will be northern hemisphere and the bottom portion is considered to be southern hemisphere. Then important latitudes are the latitude just above the equator, that is the latitude in the northern hemisphere, which is the angular measurement of this latitude is 23.5 degree north. This latitude is known by the name Tropic of Cancer. I'm once again repeating, the latitude just above 0 degree equator is known as Tropic of Cancer. The angular measurement of this line of latitude is 23.5 degree north. Then above this 23.5 degree north, another latitude is there. This is Arctic Circle. Arctic Circle, and its angular measurement is 66.5 degree north. You can see North Pole, which is the center of the top portion center. Is the North Pole, which is having the angular measurement of 90 degree north. Then going to southern hemisphere, the same as that of northern hemisphere, the latitude just below equator, that is 23.5 degrees south, you can see another latitude which name is Tropic of Capricorn. The latitude which is just below equator, who is having the angular measurement of 23.5 degrees south, is known as Tropic of Capricorn. And below Tropic of Capricorn, another latitude is there, whose angular measurement is 66.5 degrees south. It is Antarctic Circle. And you can also see South Pole, 90 degree, middle of the bottom portion. And I will show you another picture. Okay, can you see? It is more easy to understand. This is equator, which is drawn on orange color. It is 0 degree. Then just above 0 degree you can see Tropic of Cancer, which is 23.5 degree north, and you can see Arctic Circle, which is 66.5 degree north. Then Tropic of Capricorn, 23.5 degrees south, and Antarctic Circle, which is 66.5 degree south. Okay, so that's all about the important latitudes. Then, do you know the latitudes in the northern hemisphere is known as? What's the name of the latitudes in the northern hemisphere? It is known as? Someone is saying? Yes, it is north latitudes. The latitudes in the northern hemisphere is known as north latitudes. Then what is the name of the latitudes in southern hemisphere is known as? Yes, south latitudes. So I hope you had understood till now. I am giving you a small assignment. So as I told earlier, you need to buy a smiley ball like this, and you have to cut it into 2 equal halves. You can see it is 2 equal halves. Then draw a line in the middle of the circle of both the halves. Then with the help of the protractor, mark the angles here on the top side as well as on the bottom side, and for the another one also. Then draw lines joining these latitudes, and when you keep it together, you will find it like this. Can you see? It will be like this. So it is a small assignment for you. If it is a cricket ball, you have to cover the hollow part in the inside portion. For smiley ball, you don't need to do anything because it is having a sponge cover, so no need of covering. I hope you have understood this class. We will see next week. Have a good day. Be safe and stay healthy. Thank you.